Today I'm going to show you a look at my garden. Hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Jolene and I usually do hiking and travel videos. But as of recent, during COVID, I started a garden and having backyard chickens. I have a small flock that I feed organic feed, and my garden is a non-pesticide organic garden. Come along and look at my garden. Enjoy. So with every garden, there must be flowers for pollination and to attract bees and butterflies. And I bought these containers in the dollar store actually, so Dollar Tree. I bought a case of 24 for $24. It was online and it had it in the store, and one day I was there and a lady bought 5, and that's how I knew to go online for these containers. And it's a 14, it was 14 by 8 I believe, and it's pretty steady for $1. If it lasts me 2 years, I think I got the wood out of it. So here I planted onions, sweet onion buds, and they're growing pretty well. I planted these at the end of March, and I have sweet onions, and then I have red onions over here. So the soil, I mixed native soil along with potting soil, perlite. So these little things here are perlite, and it holds water in. And you can see today's a hot day, so it looks pretty dry, but I'm sure underneath there is sufficient water. I have strawberries, so I have 2 strawberry plants, and this is the first time I'm growing strawberries in a container. I actually got 1 strawberry out from this tree here. Then I have yellow peppers. So peppers doesn't have deep roots, so it was ideal for a container, and hopefully we'll see how it goes. And it's actually flowers, and I don't know if you can see it, but it's flowersing. And then I have red pepper. So I have a yellow pepper and a red pepper. Now I didn't plant any green peppers because they're pretty cheap, as the yellow and red are more expensive in the supermarket. And then I have a hybrid banana pepper, and it came in one tree, but there are 2 plants here, and I just saw that it's flowersing right there, so I have that. Now I'm doing a little experiment here in a bag. It's a plastic bag, and I planted potatoes. So these are my potatoes. I planted these potatoes on April 7th. Today is May 1st, and it's growing pretty well. I believe the maturity of potato is 30 days. The soil is about 4 or 5 inches deep. So we'll see. I planted potatoes in the ground as well, and I want to see which is better. Now I have oregano here, Italian oregano, and you can use this to make pesto, or if you want to add flavor to your herb chicken. And I usually use it for pesto, or if I'm grinding up seasoning, which is like cilantro, culantro, that we call it shadow benny in Trinidad, and but in this Asian supermarket here it's called culantro. I have lavender here, and lavender keeps away bugs and the bad bugs, so I have lavender here. And I'm gonna experiment with a little lavender on to make essential oils. We'll see how that goes, but that's not right now. So here I have zucchini. I have 6 zucchini plants, so all these here are zucchinis, and zucchini usually grows big, and you can train them to grow upright. So hopefully within this pot they'll grow upright, and there are flowers in already. I planted these April 7th. All these are flowers, and so these are the green zucchinis here. And then I have a straight neck squash. I bought this pretty big in Home Depot or Walmart. I usually get plants from Home Depot or Walmart. I prefer to buy plants from Home Depot even though it's a little pricier, because they honor, they take back plants up to a year. Once if you have the pot that it came in, and they could pull up your receipt with your debit card or credit card. Now if you pay cash for your item, make sure and take a picture of your receipt, so in the event that you need to return an item. So here I have parsley. So this is they call it here Italian parsley. We call it celery. So I'll just use the name that is common to everybody, which is parsley, right? And then I have cilantro. So the cilantro, we usually cut from it, and it's growing. Both of them are growing together, as you can see. Here I bought romaine lettuce, and I just stick romaine lettuce in. This might be too overcrowded, but we'll see. And in here, it's bush. My mother thinks it's something, but I'm pretty sure that it's bush, but I'm leaving her. She wants to experiment, yes. So she usually plants the flowers, and together we plant the veggies here. So I put it. Oh, one more thing. These are marigold. My mom said these from seeds, and marigold are good pest resistant flowers. It's really good. So here I have my pots on a height because my chickens dig up my garden. So in order to keep them out, it's on a height. Here I have my kale, carrots, and I have some onions. So I planted the kale in March 27th, right? So I'm picking my kale. This is not all that has grown since March 27th. I picked kale twice, and I was able to make kale sufficient for 5 people. So I have heirloom keels on this side, 3, and then I have the curly keels on this side. So this was an experiment too. I bought this raised bed garden from Amazon, and I filled this completely with native dirt and a bit of perlite and manure. And this side I filled it with garden soil that I bought from Home Depot. And you can clearly see the difference in terms of the how the plant has grown. The native dirt with the perlite has grown more than the garden soil that I bought. Now potting soil and garden soil is different, but I use garden soil because it was cheaper, right? I have a cabbage there, and it's beginning to take form. So I have 1 cabbage there, and then I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 curly kale plants. So over here now is my enclosed fence garden, and I bought a trellis. So I made this trellis actually. The 2 poles I bought from Home Depot, and it's a feet down in the ground. And then I bought these string, I believe from Home Depot. You can find these in the dollar store as well. So that the cucumbers, so I have cucumbers on the side here. So I have 6 cucumber plants on the side here. The shade on the light. My cucumbers, and then I have a butter squash in the corner there. Now I just blocked it off because my chickens, they would dig up my garden, and I planted carrots to the back of the cucumber. Now the day I planted it, the evening my chickens got in, so I don't know if it will grow. Hopefully it will grow, but I'll have carrots lining the bed on this end, and then I'll have cucumbers. Hopefully that will grow over the trellis onto the trellis, right? Over here, I have a super healthy spaghetti squash. It's doing really well. So, native soil, a bit of potting soil. So I didn't cheap. I wasn't cheap this time. So I bought potting mix instead of garden soil, and I use goat manure, and this is growing pretty healthy. This was placed in the ground second week in April, so this is like 2 weeks of 2 to 3 weeks of growth, and I'm very satisfied with the results of this here. Over here, I have four tires. So these are old tires from my car or someone's car. I planted watermelon within these tires. So I saw a YouTube video by another YouTuber, and she had a watermelon patch with just tires, and it grew pretty well. So I followed her here. So here I have like 2 or 3 watermelon plants, and then you can see the leaves are coming out. It's growing slowly. Watermelon, as I'm in zone 7A, so it's now started to get warm, and hopefully there'll be more growth in the watermelon. Outside of the enclosure, I have chive here, or chive, and then I have French thyme here. So we use this to cook as well, and the chives. So let me take you inside the garden. Oh, one more thing. Outside the garden, radishes. So radishes usually like cool weather, and I planted these at the beginning of April, and they're growing. Like I saw recently, I covered it up, but I saw some radish growing out. And let me just pull this. My chickens make it hard for my garden to look very pretty, but this is more functional than for beauty. So I have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 plants there. So as I said, it's a hot day today, and they look like they're wilting, but it will perk up once I water it later this evening. And then the same thing here. And then my mom planted radishes, so from seedlings. So you can see the package there, radishes here, and hopefully that will grow up. Essential. So here I have flowers. I just have 2 variety of flowers there, and then on the corner of the fencing, let me go from this side. Yeah, from the corner of the fencing, I have peas that would grow up on the fence there. Now I have 2 beefsteak tomatoes, and I bought these tomato trellis from Walmart. They were the cheapest in terms of trellis, and it's pretty durable. I'm seeing some flowers in my tomatoes there. And I have a basil, so to make pesto. This is a chocolate mint in a container, and then I have cherry tomatoes here. So let me just fix this in here, because you want to hold up. You want your tomato to be supported by the trellis. That's the reason you bought the trellis. And I have a flower right there. I don't want to touch it. It is flowers in. Yes, you can see it there. Over here, I have some cayenne pepper. This one is dying, clearly. And then I have another one there. There we go. And that one dying. And then this one in the back there. I have that one there as well. That one there. And then I have 2 okra plants. Or okra. In the Caribbean or Trinidad we say okra. Americans say okra, so I'll say okra. I have 2 And then I have a cinnamon basil. My gosh, this thing tastes really, really good. Like when it grows up, I'm going to start putting it in my tea. And I'm seeing flowers on it. And usually when it's flowers in, for it to spring more, you usually pick off the flowers. And the smell of it is so good. And I have a mint there, another mint tree, and then one last thing. So I have more okra plants here. One, two. My mom planted that from seedlings. And I have an eggplant. So the black beauty type eggplant. In the beginning it wasn't doing so well, but now it's doing really well. And I think I can see flowers on it. So this is my cabbage patch. I have 5 cabbage, and you can clearly see there's something eating it, whether it be a caterpillar or a worm. I don't know, but this one is closing up. This one is closing. And then I have the Swiss chard. So I don't usually buy Swiss chard, but so that's my compost patch. This is spinach from seeds. So I started my spinach seeds here, and you can clearly see there that spinach, those are spinach. So I'm not unweeding anything right now until I know for sure it's not spinach, right? And here I have lettuce, romaine lettuce, and it's growing, it's taking its time. And here is not full sun. I have my potato patch. Yes, so there's a row, I planted more here because the chickens dug up the potatoes that was here, and then I have 2 there. So my compost patch is here. So that's it there, my compost patch. I have to give credit to my mom and dad because they started it, but the wires on it, because the chickens scratch it and scatter it. A compost patch usually needs heat to bake and decompose, so that's why it's in a heap rather than flat. I need to buy a thermometer for that. If you all have any recommendations for a thermometer, a garden thermometer, let me know in the comments below. So this is basically my garden. This is the largest garden that I ever planted. My parents usually do the majority of the gardening, but this year I took an active role in gardening, and it was part of me trying to live more sustainably and grow my own food, farm to fork. So when I planted my kale and I ate it, it tastes so different. And it was just like a sort of pride knowing that you grew this and you watered it and you saw it grew, and now you're cooking it and eating it. And it cost, basically I did transplants, so it basically costs little to nothing for me to get kale. One more thing, you don't need a lot of space to garden. I'm on less than an acre of land, and this is my garden, and I could expand my garden even more. I have more space, but I want to be faithful in a smaller scale and then move on to a bigger scale. Hope you enjoyed the video and click the thumbs up. It really helps out my channel, and share this. Follow me for more garden updates. Each month I'll be doing a garden update, so at the end of May into June I'll give you an update on my garden. Thanks for watching and happy growing.